So I'll be speaking about a very important subject, which is very close to my heart, which is education. Uh, so education is something that's really important in the perspective of Pakistan. So I'll be telling you what are the challenges that we are facing in Pakistan and how uh, it, I'll go about suggesting a few investments that are needed to be made, critical investments that need to be made in the education sector. So if we see in Pakistan, Pakistan is actually facing uh, a huge challenge in terms of it's not working. Oh. So Pakistan is facing a huge challenge in terms of ensuring that all children attend, stay, and learn in schools. So this is the education equation that we want to solve. Remember this word, remember this equation. Enrollment, attendance, retention, improved learning outcomes. So we are talking about this equation. Uh, so, but the matter of the fact is that around 22.8 billion kids from 15 to 16 years of age group, they are out of school. They are not going to any, just for a second, just absorb this number, 22.8 million. This is roughly equals to population of Australia. Let me give you more perspective. Uh, there are 119 countries on this planet whose population is less than 22.8 million. So if this makes sense or not. So let me just, after giving you sort of a perspective of how the number is, I would proceed to disaggregate this into different age groups. So first we will evaluate 5 to 9 age group. So in the 5 to 9 age group, there are 5 million kids who are not enrolled in any kind of schools. When we go towards the 10 to 14 situation is bleaker. The number doubles. 11.4 million kids or adolescents are not associated with any kind of formal education. And if you see to the third category, which is 15 to 16, there are 6 million more kids or adolescents who are not associated with any kind of formal education, and probably they will never be able to do that because they have missed the bus. So the question is, why are children out of school? Any guesses? One word answer because we're at time.
Poverty, non-availability of the schools, infrastructure.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right in a way because
Child labor.
non-availability of schools is right in a way, but that's not all. Because you're right, because schools are not there. So we only have like 68,000 schools in Pakistan. And yesterday I was doing the number crunching and I found out that we would need around 150,000 more school buildings to accommodate all these out of school children. So 150,000 more schools, buildings. And with this disclaimer that we haven't built any school in the last 10 years or so. Okay, so for instance, let's assume that tomorrow we find the funding to build all these schools. Will we be able to solve this problem or not? So let's analyze that. Let's analyze what the issue is. So what are the actual reasons why? Because what the actual reasons why children are not going to schools? So let's go. So more than half of the children who are out of school are under poverty. Parents have two options: low quality government education or no education at all. And obviously opportunity cost becomes a major factor in consideration, and eventually it leads to dropouts, and you can see the dropout numbers are really terrible. So among those kids who end up going to schools, imagine a kid going to school, imagine his or her life going to a school with lack of proper infrastructure, meaning no facility for drinking water or using the restrooms. Teacher absenteeism is prevalent, and corporal punishment is also commonplace. So, which leads to an aversion. Actually, it's children who are going to schools are more likely to lose interest in education than the kids who have never been to school. Numbers are there. So parents do not see value in sending. Obviously, the parents are also not seeing any value in sending their children to school. So these are the by analyzing these factors, we see that the issue is not entirely based on lack of demand. It's an issue is lack of proper lack of supply of proper education, proper education in terms of proper functioning schools. So, I've been talking about kids who are basically not in schools. Now let's talk about children who are in schools. What are the learning outcomes? So this is an organization called ASER who did this survey. And their last year report suggests that 48% of grade 5 kids cannot do double digit division. 44% of grade 5 children cannot read grade 2 level Urdu, Sindhi or Pashto text, story book. So this is a situation that's a universe that we're living in terms of education is concerned. The children who are even going to school, the third part of the equation that I mentioned earlier, this is also really bleak. So why are children not learning in classrooms? What are the reasons that children are not learning in classrooms? This is the question I think that needs to be pondered upon, researched, and it needs special attention of our policymakers and lawmakers. I think we hear about it a lot about it that increase in education budget will solve the problem. I mean, go ahead, increase education budgets, but remember that your increase in education budget should not go in funding the salaries of non-existent teachers. You have to make the really critical investments in the things that are really required, and the investments like maybe evidence-based teacher training or development of school leadership who could actually be kind of take ownership of schools and do something about it, and maybe channeling that. Okay, so maybe improving the accountability structures within the school. So I actually don't have much time to. Otherwise, I would have taken. I had prepared two investment that I wanted to talk about. I can speak on this in the future presentations if audience would like to. Thank you very much.